So there's a barbarian encampment to the south of us. We've got to take them down. Again, I talked about the American unique leader ability, which gives us a pretty good percentage bonus for fighting on our home continent. But I also have a policy for fighting barbarians with a little bit more effectiveness. I also got up another builder. I was able to finally mine the salts just to the east of my capital city. And we're going to do another building action here. So yeah, my warriors will be fighting barbarians pretty effectively. And as I said, other YouTubers, other players were saying that they were struggling with the barbarians initially. So I think that's pretty cool. As America, we had a pretty good bonus. Here's citizen management. A little look into this. This is when I figure out that there is a bug between the yields and the tooltip. So we're seeing kind of a difference there. Okay, so I'm gonna press forward, fighting in the time. Oh, I guess not. We're gonna press forward next time around. I talked about a little bit of the envoy system with La Venta, and they're providing me with a little bit of faith, I believe. 1.9 to be exact. Up there in the corner, you can see the different icons. Now is the time to check out what London has, because I think in the next like 25 turns, I'm gonna go to war with London. I'm gonna try to take them down. So that is gonna be the plan. Barbarian's gonna rush away. So here's one thing I want to mention. The AI was kind of okay. I'm sorry, not okay. It was kind of still, you could tell it's still in development. The AI, they did some funky things, and I was able to exploit that a little bit. Again, you know, we're still before release, and balance changes are occurring every day. But you're definitely going to notice some funky things, I think, out of the AI. Not so much, not anything that I can think of from the barbarians, more from the other civs during conflicts. That was kind of the thing that I was noticing. Let me go a little bit further into this, and that way we can kind of figure out, because I know that I was talking to somebody about that, just so that they knew. Okay, bam, instantly. I only have four citizens, so I think matching up the citizen level in your city versus like when you're going to want to build an actual builder, because remember, that's going to require production. You're going to need to do that. There's, I'm sure, going to be a good formula, I'm assuming, for when to build a builder, depending on obviously the population inside of your capital city. So I probably shouldn't have got that second builder out first, and I realized that after I did it. If Washington's only at 4 population and my builder has 3 actions, is really not super necessary, I think, to have done that. I mean, I think I could have probably produced something else, maybe another unit or something. Oh, what's really important, I should have mentioned in the first video, this is on quick time. This is not standard time or anything like that. So that's big. So you might see, like, you might be like, wow, this game's moving a lot faster. It's because it's on quick. So even though I got to only turn 100 or above turn 100, we still got to the middle part of the game. We definitely saw a little part of the game. Okay, so yeah, barbarian's kicking my butt right now. I've got a slinger, there's a spearman, and a barbarian warrior. So I'm like, uh-oh, this is not good. Need to figure this out. Unit promotions. Okay, so unit promotions, technically, and I don't know if this is gonna stay, but those were being saved. Those unit promotions, I was able to save them. You can just hit next turn. Another thing that you'll also notice is that every time your units gets a promotion, they instantly heal by 50%, by 50 points, I guess I should say. That's big. No longer will you have to choose between the open terrain bonus versus instant healing versus rough terrain. You'll be able to just choose, open terrain or rough terrain, and then automatically get that 50% heal. This is kind of like, I have 2 different feelings about this, because if you guys know me, if you've been following my Civ 5 series for a while, you'll know I'm really not a fan at all of the instant heal. Hate that the AI is able to do that. That's why I'll always take it out of my own single player. Oh, I'm getting surrounded now. That's not good. Yeah, so I'll always take it out usually. I'll mod it out, the instant heal. But at the same time, it's so important for the AI to have that instant heal, or else they're really, they can't do anything.
Bronze is the mirror of the
from what I noticed, the AI looks like it will probably be a little bit better, because there is a somewhat of a stacking system, somewhat, but not as big of a deal as I thought it was going to be. I think a lot of people thought the whole new stacking of mechanics, stacking of units was going to be a bigger deal. Not really. I don't think that's going to make a major impact. It's going to help escort certain units. It's going to make things a little bit more efficient. Siege weapons are definitely a lot different now, but civilian units kind of the same. It's not that big of a deal, I don't think, but maybe I didn't play with the right units, or maybe I didn't get to the right time period, but I didn't notice it having that big of an impact. So yeah, the promotions thing is going to be a big deal. One thing I do love is that the promotions are now displayed on the icon. That's really nice. So should be obviously a lot more visual, knowing who is my strongest warrior, who's my strongest swordsman or musketman or whatever it might be. That'll be a lot more helpful. Making 6 gold per turn right now, 2 faith, 2.2 civics, or 2.2 culture, which I use for the civic tree. Another thing I want to mention, I should say, is, and I think this is kind of a given, I've talked about this a little bit, love that they've separated the civic tree. That's a way bigger, in terms of like mechanics that have changed, stacking of units, I don't think is really that big of a deal, but the splitting of the trees is huge. That's really huge, because I always, if you know me, in Civ 5, I'll always skip. Here's where you can see 2 food yields and 1 production, but the tile's not showing that. So yeah, I was just kind of trying to figure that out there. So yeah, that's big. What I was trying to say is yeah, it's a really big deal, because I always skip out on culture. I'm always skipping culture, because like, I don't need culture, it's fine. Can't even remember, like, I'll build culture buildings usually at the very end of my game. Even if I'm going for a cultural victory, I don't tend to get those techs up that fast. Now it's going to be important. Maybe not so far in the very beginning, because again, we have these chieftain governments, and I'll be upgrading my government very soon, but we have these like chieftain governments that only offer 2 possible slot openings. So yeah, but if you want some good policies, you're gonna need kind of a thriving culture, a lot more culture. Right now, you can see that I'm doing okay culture-wise, but a lot better in science. Seems like your science number is still going to be a lot larger though than your culture number, so that's something to keep in mind. Okay, so yeah, my scout got trapped between Leeds and between London, and here is this. I wanted to go through the options for a second. Yeah, so my scout got stuck between London and Leeds. You can now go through open borders automatically. Everyone has open borders in the very beginning. Let me move this. What am I doing here? Here's the new gossip system. Rumor has it that England is worshipping a pantheon of gods focused on the fertility rites belief. So I'm assuming that's something with food. There's her government. She has a chieftain. That's really, really important too. Before I get into the open borders thing, we can see her hidden agenda. She has her sun never sets, which is her unique ability, which is pretty cool that we have access to that. Knowing what the AI government type is big. Here's governments. So we all have chieftain. This is some of the governments that we can choose between. Classical Republic is what I was referring to. I thought it was Merchant Republic. Extra economic slots, an oligarchy there, and autocracy in the very beginning, which is going to give you 2 military slots. I'm really excited. I think, and everybody that I talked to at the event was really, really excited for the new government system. So as I was saying, being able to figure out what AI government, what every AI has in terms of their government is big, because you'll kind of have an idea. If someone went down for like a monarchy, if they went for a monarchy, you'll know that they'll be a little bit more, military geared than someone that went down one of the other government types that has less military slots. That's pretty big. And I guess it's almost as, I feel like it's almost as useful. No, I think it's definitely a little bit more useful than knowing what social policies AIs went down in terms of Civ 5. But I think knowing what government they have is pretty cool, and I'm sure there's maybe a gossip system. Spies might be able to let you know what policies they have enacted for that time, so things like that. Got a eureka moment. The other thing I was going to talk about is that everybody has open borders from the very beginning. So, and look, I'm going to go come support Leventa in this struggle to defeat the barbarians. But yeah, so it's what was I gonna say? Everyone has open borders at the very beginning. There's a technology or a civic, not entirely sure, I think it's a technology, where you can then shove somebody out of your borders. But in the beginning, you can walk through anybody's lands, which is nice, because it gives you an opportunity to explore the entire map. You know, you don't have to wait for open borders, which is like in the middle part of the game, like in Civ 5. You can now just go through the lands, figure out the continent. I think that's a great change. Lovely, lovely change. Lovely. I don't know why. I've never used that adjective before. It sounded kind of strange. My trader, building the infrastructure down, and I'm going to use that to my advantage. Really interesting advantage, because now I'm starting to consider, like, when this trader's done with Leventa, I want to, have I been saying Leventi? I don't know. Leventa, I need to go trade with London. Think about it. If we have that, if we send if we have an infrastructure straight from my capital to their capital, I'll be able to utilize that for myself when it comes to going after their capital, and I can just boom send my military units off through the road that we placed down. Okay, so yeah, there's discipline. Same policy as in Civ 5. The extra bonus for attacking barbarians. Doubles the experience for recon units. You can kind of pause there and see. Need more amenities. Right now, I need to work more luxury resources. And a second settler or a second city would be really, really helpful. So I don't think I am close just yet to unlocking the next government types. State workforce. You know, obviously, you want to look at, for the very beginning, you're only going to have access to the military and economic policies, because those are the only things you're going to be able to get up with your chiefs and government. Yeah, so boats are able to range attack. So this is not a trireme. Trireme? I've never been able to pronounce that correctly, but this is not a trireme like Civ 5. Trireme? I don't know. That's not a melee boat anymore. That's a range boat. That's going to be annoying. So coastal boats from barbarians are going to be raiding your units, you know, not too far off inland. That's something else to keep in mind. Getting access to being able to build a plantation with irrigation in 2 turns. Notice that it's only taking 2 turns, and that is because of the Eureka bonuses. So it will be good to know those Eureka bonuses by heart, so that way you can try your best to just do them and limit the time it takes to research. That way you're not taking as long, and that's definitely going to be a priority of mine, to know exactly what each Eureka bonus, you know, and what Civ and what I can do in my game to cut down on some of this time period. So yeah, obviously I still haven't taken down these barbarians just yet. Did I get a promotion? Oh yeah, if I survive. And there it is. So the barbarian encampment is open for the taking. Just gonna go take that. I don't think we go take the... Yeah, there it is right there. So there's an inspiration boost. Military tradition. And I didn't talk about this, but the Leventa actually ended up taking down that barbarian encampment. Not my scout. I helped him out a little bit. Oh, good. We've got a settler coming in 1 turn. Another thing. Look at this. Settlers no longer stop your growth in your city. I thought that was another big change that I really, really liked. So you don't have to worry about, you know, being stagnant in terms of growth inside of your city when you're building a settler. Again, some of this stuff could change, so, you know, keep that in mind. But right now, I liked it. Right now, I liked it. I don't know. There could be some... Who knows? There might be some balance things that pop up where we're like, oh, maybe that is not the best idea. But for me personally, I think it's a good change. I like that. So my trader's going to finish up soon, and now I'm kind of considering, okay, we need to find a pathway, first of all, from Washington to London, and I need to know how safe that route is. I need to know how safe that route is. More barbarians. Barbarians everywhere. Again, I'm very lucky as America, though, having discipline in my government at this point here. Okay, so there's an escort button, so I can kind of lock down, so I have an archer. It just kind of makes it a little bit easier, kind of a life, what's that called? Quality of life change. So, you know, you have to constantly click 2 different units. You could just click 1 by escorting them. Heavy chariot. I believe for Egypt's, that is their chariot archer replaces that heavy chariot. Yeah, so that would be cool. Manage citizens. Trying to keep this still in mind. I'm trying to grow, because I know that is overall good. That's just something I know from Civ 5, but I'm not sure if that's the best strategy in Civ 6. I don't know. But anyways, guys, I'm going to stop right there. Hope you guys enjoyed these videos. Again, lots of information kind of coming out about Civ 6 today. So this is a pretty good day. I love it. So I think this is going to be the last time that the barbarians are a really big threat. They're still obviously going to be in the game, but I remember specifically at this point in my American Empire, we did a lot of damage so far to the barbarians, so I don't have to worry about them as much. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.